Okay, so today I've decided to be lazy with my content creation ideas and just put it all onto Marsha and make her decide what we're doing. And we decided, she decided, we're going to do a this or that, and we're going to go through 50 fantasy series that I've read and start relatively with the series that I don't like as much, finish with the series I love. Marsha's going to pick 2 series, I'll pick my favourite, and the favourite will continue on until it doesn't. And my challenge to myself is to say one good thing and one critique for each series we cover.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, we'll jump straight into it. Like, subscribe, and every time I make a mistake and make a decision you wouldn't, comment it down below. And
Without further ado, let's get started as this is a long list. So don't look. Okay. The King Killer Chronicles or the Fallen Gods?
Ooh, okay. So obviously 2 series I haven't been the biggest fans of. King Killer Chronicles killed me because I wasn't a big fan of Quoth, but my critique will be it's a long story for not too much of the main plot happening, and it just doesn't seem that in 2 more books you could wrap up everything the series wants to cover. I assume that's why it's not finished. And then my praise will be there is some really good lines. The author's laid out like how he thinks about certain things in a really interesting manner. Fallen Gods, if you want incredible descriptions of food, it is a really good series. That's the one thing I noticed is the author just loves really setting a cozy setting every time like food is pulled out. I just assume she has to have worked.
I can't quite remember. It's been a while since I've read that one, and it wasn't my favorite.
No, and then my critique would be just the amount of filler stuffed in between lines of dialogue. It just seemed drawn out way too much. I think I have to go Fallen Gods over King Killer just because King Killer's way too long. You can read both Fallen Gods books in less than King Killer.
Okay. I disagree.
You haven't read King Killer.
I know I disagree.
You haven't met Dina.
Okay. Fallen Gods or Empire of the Wolf?
Empire of the Wolf. I loved all the ideas for Empire of the Wolf, just like a King's Justice, someone who is a judge, jury, executioner, with abilities to talk to the dead and force people to speak the truth. But I just didn't like the execution. It felt a bit bland for me. You didn't like it either.
I thought it was really bland. I don't think it's a bad book by any means, but I think the characters were really bland and very one-dimensional. However, we have heard that this does change quite a bit coming with book 2.
So we might even pick it up, but we'll see.
Okay, Empire of the Wolf or Wheel of Time?
Look, as much as the Wheel of Time fandom might think I hate the series, I'm going to go with Wheel of Time. I really liked books 2 to 4. Really cool world. What I assume inspired Sanderson to his Sanderlanches are really good. Like the endings of these books, everything comes together, but the pacing is my complaint. It's the biggest issue of the series. Is just some of these books felt like they're just getting so drawn out when they could have been much shorter.
I have no desire to read The Wheel of Time.
Don't.
All right, Wheel of Time or Warbreaker?
Warbreaker, really solid standalone by Sanderson here. Not my type of story, like princesses coming down from the castle and doing some business, but interesting magic system that is kind of like the wills in Will of the Many. Then just some interesting politics and some cool relationships, though not my type of story.
Warbreaker or Mistborn Era 2?
Warbreaker's probably better, but I'm going to go Mistborn Era 2 because, not because I like it that much, the humour doesn't work for me overly well, but the nostalgia of it still being set in the same setting as Mistborn Era 1, I like. The magic systems are cool, and I don't mind a little murder mystery kind of vibe every now and then.
Mistborn Era 2 or Gentlemen Bastards?
Gentlemen Bastards, similar sort of thing, does it a lot better. That heist feeling, it is funny. I did feel there was like quite a bit of plot armor for our main character. Like there was too many villain monologues that bought our main character enough time to get out of a sticky situation. But it was a fun book.
Gentlemen Bastards or The Emperor's Soul?
Gentlemen Bastards. I honestly just can't remember enough about The Emperor's Soul.
Okay. Gentlemen Bastards or Murderbot Diaries? Hmm.
That's tough.
For me, like a Murderbot Diaries is just a very fun series. Don't get me wrong, it does have some depth to it because I think it looks at some like mental health issues. Um, but that's hard.
Yeah, like neither of those stories have too much to them. Murderbot is one of the earliest series I read on this entire list. I had fun with it. I only did the first 4 books. I didn't read the long novel, the fifth one. Let's go Gentleman
I
Bastards, just
was
because
gonna
that's
say too,
more
yeah.
recent in my mind.
Is this far enough?
Yeah.
Okay, Gentlemen Bastards or Academy of Outcasts?
Academy of Outcasts. Now, this isn't an incredible read, but Academy of Outcasts by Larry Correa, it's like a really fun Dungeons and Dragons inspired world building, like progression type fantasy. The stakes are low, but it's super epic, cozy, and immersive in a really vivid setting.
Academy of Outcasts or the Aurora Cycle?
Academy of Outcasts, Aurora Cycle, a really fun uh, YA, like space opera type read. It very much is made for like fans of Star Wars Rebels. It's by J. Christoph and Amy Kaufman. It just reads a little too young for me.
Wait, so Academy of Outcasts? Okay. Academy of Outcasts or the Broken Empire?
Oh, The Broken Empire. Mark Lawrence's humor is absolutely incredible. I love a setting where it's medieval, but it's post-apocalyptic medieval, where there's hints of modern technologies or advanced technologies that this society uses every now and then. But having a 9-year-old leading a war band, that wasn't a great aspect to it.
The Broken Empire or The Witcher?
The Witcher. It's been a long time since I read The Witcher, but it it suffered a little bit from pacing, but I really loved how much of this story is told through dialogue, and you just pick things up through context without the author having to tell you something.
The Witcher or Darkblade?
The Witcher. I really liked Andy Pelican's Darkblade. It is John Wick meets fantasy, but it's a very long book. That's my issue with it. I love assassin stories with a high kill count and running around on rooftops chasing after people. But I prefer that to be in a shorter story if there's not going to be much else to the story.
The Witcher or The Poppy War?
The Witcher again, I did love a lot about Poppy War. I do like R.F. Kuang's writing. I know you're not the biggest fan of her writing style. And I just felt the story was very interesting. The magic system is overpowered, and I didn't.
The Witcher or The Last War?
The Witcher. The Last War had some strong points with its pacing, and it felt like it was written in a John Gwynne style way, with like how cinematic it was and how quick we got through the story, and like the action was pretty good. Marsha hated it. The characters aren't overly well done, and there was quite a few instances of things just being done poorly in the series.
The Witcher or the Gale Song Saga?
The Galson saga. I really love the characters for this series. The setting being in late 10th, early 11th century Ireland was really interesting. Writing was really great. The only issue I had with this trilogy was the last 25% of book 3. I feel like a lot of things were left open ended, and a lot of characters went in a direction that seemed off character for them.
The Gale Song or the Lord of the Rings?
Uh, why are these all so tough? I thought I was going to get some easier ones. Uh, Lord of the Rings. I really liked this read for just finding all the differences to the movies. I read this when I was about 20, and after watching the movies like 10 times each. So picking up those differences was a really fun part. It felt just like a really cozy adventure. I'm going to pick this one up again soon. I'm really excited for that.
Lord of the Rings or Greenbone Saga?
Lord of the Rings. Greenbone Saga, Jade Legacy was incredible. If I enjoyed the other 2 books as much as I enjoyed Legacy, this series would be much higher on the list. But I found the first 2 books just to be a bit bland, and I guess that was probably because it's a bit too much hype for me going into this series. Everyone was talking about how great the writing and the characters were, and I thought the writing was incredibly plain, and yeah, those 2 books didn't work for me.
Lord of the Rings or the Illuminae Files?
I love the Rings. Illuminae Files is incredibly fun. It's written in that Dracula style where it's not just like chapters and paragraphs on a page. We are getting the story told through us through chat rooms and doctors' reports and an AI giving us its monologue and ship-to-ship communications, and it plays out a really interesting story. The only drawbacks to this, there is no real drawbacks except it's just a the YA love triangle, I guess. But I don't know. Illuminate was very well done, and the full cast audiobook is definitely worth checking out if you want fun YA space opera by J. Christopher Kaufman.
The Lord of the Rings or the Inheritance Cycle?
Oh, come on. That's just cruel. Oh, let's go with. Let's talk about the good of the Aragon's books. That's what started me reading fantasy. So pure nostalgia and just immersive world building. The downside would be the Murtagh book. It's one of the worst books I've read since I started this YouTube channel. It's incredibly dull and boring and repetitive and takes way too long. So, I'm just going to go with Inheritance Cycle purely off nostalgia, and that I've read it 5 times, so I've only read Lord of the Rings once. So, we'll say Inheritance Cycle.
The Inheritance Cycle or Queen of Thieves?
Oh, Inheritance Cycle. Queen of Thieves, another series by Andy Peliquin, his best that I've read. Fast-paced, heist-themed stories, gritty, dark, messed up, really good. Downside, there's just a really messed up scene in that end of the first book that is messed up.
Got it. The Inheritance Cycle or the Bloodsworn Saga?
Let's go the Inheritance Cycle, Bloodsworn Saga. It's a series that got me back reading fantasy as an adult. Very immersive. I love the Viking setting of the world building. The ending fell short for me. Unfortunately, I wasn't the biggest fan of the last book of the trilogy.
The Inheritance Cycle or Warhammer 40k?
Oh, now the 2 Warhammer 40k books I've read have been really good. One by Adrian Tchaikovsky and the other by Aaron Dembski-Bowden. I think Aaron is one of the best writers I've ever read based off that one book of his I read, The Spirit of the Emperor. And because I haven't read enough Warhammer, I'm going to go Inheritance, but I think Spears of the Emperor is an incredible read if you want to check out the Warhammer universe and get a standalone. And it's one of the better books I've read this year.
The Inheritance Cycle or Mistborn?
Mistborn. This was a series I read immediately after Shadow of the Gods, the first Bloodsworn book, and it blew my mind. I remember telling my family about it as soon as I finished reading. Like, I sat down and binged that book through in a week, which for me was unheard of at the time, and I thought it was the best thing I'd ever read. Now, would I still think it's the best thing I've ever read? Probably not. But it was my first time experiencing a Sanderlanche. Just the wow moments of everything coming together was incredible. Probably a bit slow at the early part of the books. I didn't notice that at the time.
Mistborn or Five Warrior Angels?
Let's just clarify, that's just Mistborn Era 1. We're not including Era 2 in this. That would mark it down. And I'm going to go with Mistborn, 5 Warrior Angels, super well written, incredible world building, characters, very hit or miss.
Mistborn or the Hunger Games?
Oh, okay. I'm going to go Mistborn as a whole, like as all 3 of the trilogy. Hunger Games, if it was just the first 2 books, would probably win. But the 3rd book I didn't find as good. Really good. I didn't read Hunger Games until I was an adult, and I could easily read it again. It's that good.
I think it's a very timeless series.
Yeah.
Okay. Mistborn or the Stormlight Archive?
No. This is really tough because if it was just The Way of Kings and Words of Radiance versus the first 3 Mistborn books, it'd be Stormlight. I didn't finish Stormlight, so I think I have to pick Mistborn because of that, though I prefer most aspects of Stormlight, except for where it went in the end. I guess that has to be included in this. So, yeah.
Really? That's what you're going to base it off? You really liked book 3 and 4 too. You didn't really start having issues till later.
This is true. Like, it's all written down. This you can all find it on this channel. That my devastation with Wind and Truth. We'll go Stormlight. Kaladin, one of my favorite characters of all time. Let's not talk about Wind and Truth, though.
I DNF'd after book 4.
Good decision.
Stormlight or the Demon Cycle?
Demon Cycle. I had my issues towards the ending of the series, but I had a lot better time with the majority of the series than most people do. A really good dark fantasy. It was a very good read for me to like keep reading after I finished like the Inheritance Cycle. Great main character.
Demon Cycle and a new favorite climbing the ranks, The Way of Adon.
Oh, all right. So I'm on book 3 of The Way of Adan now, and Legacy takes time. Demon Cycle's been living in my mind for over a decade now. So just about a decade. Let's go Demon Cycle. But The Way of Adan, if you want Faithful and the Fallen meets Lord of the Rings, it's really good. It has its flaws, but I've been having a great time, and I'll have to do a full review at the end of this month.
The Demon Cycle or the Empire Trilogy?
Empire Trilogy. Seeing some of the full circle moments of the Empire Trilogy when it looks into like slavery and humanity of just like, can we change, learn, grow, redeem ourselves? Really well done in that regard, and just incredible political fantasy all the way through. Only critique, first book, it just felt like our main character was too competent for the situation she was in.
The Empire Trilogy or the Bound and the Broken?
The Empire Trilogy. I love the third book in The Bound and the Broken. It's one of my favorite fantasy reads. Just a really big scope Aragon with even cooler world building. Drawbacks, the books get longer and longer, and I don't even think I'll be continuing the series because of the length and the complaints I've seen for that fourth book.
The Empire Trilogy or the Ranger's Apprentice?
Okay, so this is one of the best series I've read recently versus the series I grew up on and was reading before I even read Aragon. And I am going to have to go with the Ranger's Apprentice. Come on, it got me reading. It's very much not really a fantasy series, but it's set in its own world, kind of like we're set in like a medieval England, following these rangers who are like the spies and the military intelligence force for this kingdom, and you just learn so many great morals. You look into so many different themes. Just for a kids series, the themes get pretty dark. Like you get into drug addiction and slavery, and like very early on in this series, and it does not let up. There, you'll be crying. I've never had a book make me cry more than the second book of this series. Okay, next option.
The Ranger's Apprentice or Mercy, Tears of the Fallen?
Sorry, Chance. I'm going to go Ranger's Apprentice here because I've read 12 to 15 books from this world. Mercy is quickly becoming like one of my favorites. I absolutely loved the first book. It definitely feels a bit like Malazan and First Law, a bit lower on the humor than those two, but really big world, really filled out world, really great characters, and I can't wait for the audiobook to be done for this so I can give it a listen before jumping into the second book when it comes out next year.
The Ranger's Apprentice or Nevernight Chronicles?
Oh, this is really tough. Let's go with Ranger's Apprentice. I really, really, really love the Nevernight Chronicles by J. Kristoff. A dark revenge story, full of twists, just really compelling maiden character, horrible romance, that's the big con, and a little bit too happy ever after in the ending, which is a big problem for Kristoff in every series he's been a part of. Incredible prose. Some people call it too purple and flourishing. I love it. What have we got next?
Wait, what did you choose?
Ranger's Apprentice.
Okay. Ranger's Apprentice or the Dandelion Dynasty?
Oh, okay. I have some very complicated feelings on Dandelion. Not so complicated. I love the first book. The second book was really good. The third book killed me. And the fourth book, it just redeemed itself. But it was a bit too long-winded for me, with the last two books essentially being one book. But I am going to pick Dandelion Dynasty.
The first book was really good.
It's really well done. Incredible politics. The theme of the story is the engineers are the heroes rather than just people running around with swords. So it gets really interesting like that. The biggest drawback with this series for me, every time there's a battle scene, we get new technologies introduced and we have to have a flashback to how all those technologies were built. So it makes these battle scenes last a very long time. And I already am not the biggest fan of reading battle scenes at the moment this year. It's just not something I'm loving. The characters are great, though we do get new focus characters in each book, which was a little drawback for me. It's like, okay, I have to get reinvested to this new cast and kind of forget a little bit about the cast of the last book. But incredible political fantasy, and there's nothing else like it.
Dandelion Dynasty or Dungeon Crawler Carl?
This is really tough again. I love Dungeon Crawler Carl, but 7 books in now, or 6 books for me, it's getting a little bit samey, but we're getting more and more depth to the story at the same time. So I'm loving the story that's building up outside the dungeon, but inside the dungeon and the level-to-level action sequences there gets a little bit much. This is a really hard choice to make because I do love both of these, despite my critiques for both of them. Let's go Dandelion Dynasty.
Dandelion Dynasty or Dune?
Okay. Well, this depends what I'm rating off.
I think
If
you
I'm-
could rate Dune off the books that you've read. Dandelion has 4 books. Dune, you've read a few books now too, so I think you could do it based on that.
Yeah, I've read 4 books of Dune, and I could never reread the Dandelion Dynasty books again because of how long-winded it gets and how much it frustrated me. I could easily reread those Dune books over and over again. Although, on first read, I get more enjoyment out of Dandelion because you don't have to dive as deep to get the rich themes of the story. And Dune, you have to dive a little bit deeper to really get the richness of the story because there is a lot happening on every single page of Dune. He's always trying to tell you a lot. His mind's absolutely incredible. So I'll go with Dune. Both incredible reads, despite my critiques. Like, don't think I'm being negative. These are all really, really good series.
Okay, so now we're going to the creme of the crop, or however you say it. Is that how you say it?
Cream of the crop?
Creme?
Cream of the crop.
Oh,
Maybe?
I don't know.
I'm Australian. Why would I know?
I'm an immigrant. No, seriously. Dune or the Realm of the Elderlings?
Oh, this is where I've been getting all my flack recently. This is really tough. I do really like Realm of the Eldlings. I do love a lot of Hobbes' writing. It's the coziest writing style I've ever read. I know I'm just salty about one book and I loved most of it.
How many books did you read?
I read 9 books and I loved 8 of them, plus a novella.
So you're just being so.
I'm just being salty about the 1/3 of that one book. But
That's
because of
fair.
that, going with Dune.
I take things to the grave. Dune or the Wars of Light and Shadow?
Okay, so the 2 hardest writing styles for me to read. Do I go with the fantasy option or the sci-fi option? I'm going to go Wars and Light and Shadow. The enjoyment for me is a bit higher in this series. I just love how Johnny can immerse me in just a huge classic fantasy setting. And I just really love her world building. Character work's great. The plot seems a little samey from book to book, which is my drawback there. But really great series overall. I'm excited to continue on that journey.
The Wars of Light and Shadow or Red Rising?
Oh, okay. That's tough. That's really tough. Let's go with... It's been a long time since Red Rising. I remember some really great battle scenes, some really great speeches. Darrow is just a really cool character, and there's a lot of great side characters.
Red Rising has one of my favorite cast of characters, I think. I don't think there's a lot of series where I care about so many people. And then on top of that, nothing beats Red Rising monologues.
No, they're just... Oh,
They
whenever
hit
they
so
pop
hard.
up on my feed, I just get excited.
Yeah.
So I think we'll go Red Rising. Yeah, we'll go Red Rising.
Okay, Red Rising or Discworld?
I've read more good Red Rising books than Discworld books, but I haven't read as much Discworld as I would like. If it was just the Going Postal, Moist One Lipwig books, I'd pick those. But because we're talking about as a whole, I'll go Red Rising for now. But if you want a cozy, whimsical story some great humor, definitely check out Discworld.
Red Rising or The Faithful and the Fallen?
The Faithful and the Fallen. Good choice. This was really fun to pick up early on in my reading journey. It's got a lot of those classic tropes, but in a modern writing style, modern pacing. It's got a really, really good cast of characters that you cheer for the heroes and you hate the villains. And there's just so many incredible battle scenes that I can still see crystal clear in my mind.
Okay, so now we're in the top 5.
Oh, crap.
So, The Faithful and the Fallen versus Sun Eater.
Oh, Sun Eater. Picking any of these is tough. Sun Eater, what Rockio had with this vision that he laid out and knowing exactly how the series was going to end from the start. It's just pure brilliance. I don't know if he knew all the specifics, but he knew how it was going to end, obviously, by the nature of what this type of story is. The depth, thematically great. The action, super cool. Just sci-fi fantasy. Like, he nailed it. The writing's beautiful. The world building's huge. I will do a full video on Sun Eater very soon.
Sun Eater
Don't say it.
or First Law?
These are probably 1 and 2 for me at the moment. Full time, like even above those next 2 series that you're going to say. So let's go First Law because there's more characters I cared about. There was more books and just such a fleshed out world by the time you got to the end of these 9 books where you've been in the heads of so many different characters and just really lived out this world. And the humor's great. Don't say it.
First Law and what everyone's been waiting for, Empire of the Vampire, which is now completed, and Dylan has read the finale to this series, and he's also not happy about it. So how does this change now?
It's now First Law.
It is?
It's, yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Oh. Yeah, it's First Law. That ending to Empire of the Vampire, it won't ruin what those first 2 books are, which are better than 90% of the First Law books. Trouble with Peace is the only one that I would say could beat either of those first 2 Empire of the Vampire books. But that 3rd book, we have to look at that when we're judging the series as a whole. What Christoph chose to do in that book, I just will never agree with and have no idea why he chose to end a series that way. And if you read it, I hope you love it. I love those first 2 books. I've recommended them to so many people, so I hope all those people that have picked it up because of me or picked it up in general absolutely love the 3rd book. In saying that, you're not allowed to read the 3rd book because I know you'll hate it. So, First Law it is. What's the next one you're going to compare it to?
First Law and one of, this is also in my top 2, First Law or Malazan?
This is the last one?
No.
Oh, okay. First Law for now, only because I've read 10 First Law books, if you include the short story collection. And I've only read 5 of the 10 Malazan books. And First Law, you're in the world as soon as you start reading it. It's a world very much like our own, so it's very easy to just put yourself there when you just pick up the page. The humor is great. Malazan, incredible humor. It's one of the highlights of the series. Midnight Tides, one of my favorite books I've ever read. The scope of the story, the world building, seeing all the plots come together like a Sanderson at the end, like all the plot lines just coming in together from a huge, massive book. I absolutely love that. And my excitement to continue reading this series is super high. But for now, we'll go First Law, and next year, Malazan can just take over #1 spot on all the lists, but I can just hold off for a few more months.
I'm surprised about this, actually. Okay, First Law, and our last, but not least, A Song of Ice and Fire.
I think we know the answer here. It's A Song of Ice and Fire. This series will forever live rent-free in my mind. It will forever be hopefully not. Hopefully I can find something that tops it. But this world is the most alive world in my head. The characters just we've got a character that covers everything. They're so rich and just hooking characters. I'm just interested in their story. And although there's no end to this series, I'm just going to keep writing different endings in my head. Just like with how I write my own endings to Empire of the Vampire, I don't mind if a series doesn't end, as long as it doesn't end poorly.
I would rather have a series not end than
end poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's a question to you guys. What would you rather have?
Would you rather have Stormlight or A Song of Ice and Fire? I think the answer is pretty obvious, but a lot of people will disagree with me. So this is just my opinion on the internet, though I like to think I'm right.
It's mine too.
Let us know your thoughts on this. Would you like to see me do the same, ask the same questions for Marsha? Have a great day. Thank you for watching.